لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة والملك لك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're still watching the Nile cruise and we're still celebrating Eid al-Adha. And our topic today is Eid al-Adha, faith, sacrifice, the spirit of unity. As the sun rises on the first day of Eid al-Adha, the world's Muslims unite in prayer, reflection and celebration. This blessed occasion is not only about festive gatherings or the act of sacrifice, but about reviving the story of the submission to God, the legacy of Prophet Ibrahim, and the eternal values of mercy, generosity and renewal. And to explore all this and more, we are honored to be joined today by Dr. Heba Salah. She is a senior researcher at Dar al-Ifta, who will help us to uncover the heart of the sacred celebration. Thank you very much, Dr. Heba, for joining us today on Nile TV International.
Thank you, and we wish you and all our dear viewers a happy, blessed Eid.
Thank you. Dr. Heba, what is the spiritual and historical significance of Eid al-Adha in Islam?
First of all, reflecting on the spiritual aspects of Eid al-Adha, it's like any other Islamic rites or celebrations in the Islamic faith. And allow me to reflect on our role model in this big event of Al-Hajj, and refer to the role of Lady Hajar, the wife of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, because she was the seed or the first brick in this big event. When he, peace and blessings be upon him, received the order from Allah Almighty to take his family, the wife and the baby child, to a barren valley in Mecca in order to implement only the commands of Allah. And she was firmly steadfast on her face, and she asked, is it a divine command? He confirmed, and she said that he will never leave us alone. This is the big idea that we invite our dear viewers and Muslims to reflect upon. What's the effect of totally submitting to the will of Allah Almighty at the times of difficulty? So the Eid reminds us that whatsoever difficult times we face or encounter in our life, trusting Allah that He will have the ability to resolve and take us out of this calamity, it will make these things happen. So she carried her baby, the hungry baby, the starving baby, walking between the two hills of Safa and Marwa. So this became part of the rites of Hajj later. And then we have the incident through the vision that revealed to Prophet Ibrahim to slaughter his only son after a long time waiting for a son. So she was also steadfast and patience, and the child as well. If it is the commands of Allah, so my father, go ahead and fulfill it. Then Allah provided the sacrifice instead of or slaughtering the baby. And here comes the idea of udhiyah, or slaughtering. So reflecting on the whole story, or reflecting on the lessons behind this, is that it takes us to the idea that submitting yourself to the command of Allah, everything will be okay. This is the lesson that we remember every Eid.
We should remember all the time.
The second thing is that sharing joy, or sharing the humanitarian aspect. You find the pilgrims on the Mount Arafat. Everyone or all people are equal. So it comes as a reminder to every person in this world, either Muslim or not, to remind us that we are all brothers and sisters in humanity. There is no difference between a president or a very small worker. Everyone standing on the same lane of Arafat, wearing the same clothes. Everyone has nothing to do except directing their prayers to Allah to forgive them, as if we are admitting that we are very weak without the strength of Allah Almighty.
Okay. Dr. Heba, in what ways do the rituals of Eid al-Adha connect to the Hajj pilgrims?
As I just mentioned that Lady Hagar bought the seeds of the rites of the Hajj, starting with circumambulating the Kaaba or Tawaf. It takes us to the idea of walking between Safa and Marwa. This is the 7 rounds that Lady Hagar come back and forth until the water of Zamzam gushed from the babies under the baby's feet. And then we have the standing on the plain of Arafat. This comes as the direct hadith of the Prophet, peace and the blessings be upon him. Hajj is standing on the plain of Arafat. The symbolic behind the standing, as I just mentioned, that we commanding our selves, because you know that when you in a state of worshiping Allah and being in seclusion or a spiritual seclusion, we are standing beside each other, but everyone has their own world talking and speaking to Allah. So leaving the plain of Arafat, this is not Hajj. So we are fulfilling the commands of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and then we have slaughtering the sacrifice in addition to the all rites I just mentioned. So I think this comes as admission, or we are admitting our weakness before the Almighty or the power of Allah, and like the rites of Islam in general. For example, 2 months ago we were fasting the month of Ramadan, and when you ask someone, why do you fast? He will say that this is the command of Allah. So these are the true essence of worship in general in Islam, and specifically when it comes to Hajj and Ramadan.
Dr. Heba, what are the recommended sunnahs and etiquette Muslims should follow on the morning of Eid al-Adha?
Okay, I'm focused only on women and girls on the occasions of Eid and fasting and something, because you know that without women in house, you will never see that joy or happiness. Of course, fathers and brothers, they are doing their job, but I think that the mothers and sisters have or shoulder the great responsibility of making the Eid a joyful time. Of course, as we celebrate most of our occasions, and especially religious occasion, each occasion has certain dishes or food, because after slaughtering, for those who will slaughter the udhiyah, it is sunnah to take the liver of the animal, or slaughtered animal. This is according to the hadith of the Prophet, and to cook it and to eat from it. Yes, for the breakfast. This is a sunnah for whoever is able.
We're just talking about the nutritionists, that you don't have to eat liver
because this is part of the sunnah, as to be thankful and thank Allah for the blessing of providing us with the provision and providing us with the ability we can afford slaughtering a sheep or slaughtering an udhiyah. This is a blessing that we should be thankful for Allah. After the salawat or the Eid prayer, we have to spend time with the family and distributing the meat. Distributing the meat, this gives a sense of feeling and sharing, and this is part of the sunnah as well, making others happy for receiving the meat. And the idea is not giving them the meat in itself, but the idea that we are sharing something in a joyful moment, that we can share the feelings and the rights of pilgrims in Mecca as well, because they are slaughtering as well after performing the Eid prayer. And by the way, slaughtering extended for the next 3 days in Eid, and the days we call al-Tashriq. Yes. So I think until the last day of Eid, it is open for people who cannot slaughter the udhiyah on the first, on the second, and the third, until the first day of Eid. So I think this is part of sharing pilgrims as well. Paying a charity with all different its forms, giving meat of udhiyah, giving people or the poor people money who can afford their needs for the Eid and feel the same happiness as the everyone is sharing such moment. It's a time for maintaining the family ties, because we are living in a very hectic time. You even don't have the time to have a phone call with cousin or cousins or something like this. So it's time to meet people, to reconnect, sharing food. This is one of the sunnahs in Islam, that you share food and sharing meals with your loved ones and your family. This is something we would like to remind people in the Eid to bring to focus.
Yes. Dr. Heba, what is the best way to help children understand the values behind the Eid sacrifice without traumatizing them?
Yes, this is very important, because telling them, most of them might be scared when seeing the blood and slaughtering the animal, and some of them are too merciful to animals. Of course, we need first to raise their awareness by sharing the stories of prophets first and foremost, that the prophets are facing trials and tests which suppress the normal trials that the normal people might go through. So we can start by the story of Prophet Ibrahim and his son, and let them know that the commands of Allah comes with a lot of help and mercy to the people, unless they submit themselves willingly to the will and command of Allah. So we can give them, mix the explanation with a spiritual aspect as well as with the fact of the story itself. This gives the child a balanced way in understanding. We cannot explain everything as well. For example, a 7 or a 5-year-old child cannot fathom or understand the moral behind the story. So we have to take it step by step, and this is advice to every mother and father, to parents. Don't ignore any question, don't leave any question unanswered. Try to answer as much as you can, and if you stumble and cannot answer any question, please refer to those who are specialized, in order not to distort your child or leave them having doubts or something like this.
Dr. Heba, how can Eid al-Adha be a time for personal spiritual renewal, not just a celebration?
I think that starts with the first day of Dhul Hijjah. The first day of Dhul Hijjah, or the 10 days and nights before the Eid. It's a time to prepare yourself for receiving the big day or the big prize of the day of Arafat. The day of Arafat, for both Muslims who are pilgrims and performing Hajj, and Muslims who don't have the chance to go and be pilgrims, the day encompasses everyone and everything. That's why the Prophet, peace and the blessings be upon him, told us that fasting on the day of Arafat expiates the sins of the last or the past year and a coming year.
And do the pilgrims in Mecca fast?
No, pilgrims should have what helps them to eat and sustain, because to have a power to continue their acts of worship. But for those who are not pilgrims, the people like us, they have to fast. It's a sunnah, not an obligation, but the thawab or the reward for this, or fasting this day, observing the entire year of fasting. So I think we are prepared starting from 1st of Dhul Hijjah by fasting, and it is one what comes to the list of good deeds during such time is making remembrance of Allah, dhikr. So, and the best dhikr is saying La ilaha illallah, or there is no God but Allah, making takbir all the time, saying Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest. This is the, as we say, creme de la creme of the dhikr during these days. Mothers or everyone is busy at home or busy outside home, driving your car, cooking your meal for the family. I think dhikr is the best thing to occupy your time with during these days.
Dr. Heba Salah, a senior researcher at Dar al-Ifta, thank you very much for joining us today on ITV Internet.
Thank you, you're welcome. Have you a blessed Eid. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, short break and we'll be back.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة والملك لك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك
لبيك